Good afternoon and welcome. You're watching Newsify. My name is Amita Vadva, and the developments that we have been tracking coming in both from the states of Tamil Nadu and West Bengal, because we're still awaiting exactly when it comes to the government formation there. However, there still seems to be no clarity coming in the state of Tamil Nadu. The updates continue with back-to-back meetings. Let's begin with the top 10 developments. So first up, there is still a lot of buzz on the AIA-DMK and the DMK camp coming together. There is also a lot of buzz when we speak of the AIA-DMK government with DMK, however, giving external support or outside support. Then it seems that MK Stalin is with a huddle at the DMK headquarters there. There is also a lot of movement taking place, but DMK seems to be not giving out any clarity, because neither it is denying nor accepting if there is any going to be a possible tie-up. Emergency powers that has been given to MK Stalin. Meanwhile, Vijay seems to be readying on his war plan at the TVK headquarters. Again, a lot of movement there that has been going on, and a lot of back-channel talks with smaller parties as well, because they hold the key until when they decide if they are going to lend support to the TVK. Then talking about the smaller parties, when it comes to the left, that is the CPI and the CPIM, are deciding yet when it comes to backing Vijay or not. And later in the day, we are expecting that the VCK is also expected that they will decide on backing Vijay. So that seems to be the point of view. Meanwhile, Congress's statewide stir against the governor. They are wanting the governor to invite the largest party, which is the TVK, to form the government. And the TVK cadres as well have been praying at the temple there as far as when it comes to Vijay's victory that has happened. But will Vijay become the chief minister, and when will the vote taking happen? That is again something which is unclear. Already, as far as the initial plan was concerned, Vijay should have already been sworn in as the chief minister, but he's unable to do so. Why? Because he does not have the required numbers.
All right, so let's talk about what's happening in Tamil Nadu. The crown seems slightly elusive for Vijay as of now. Until yesterday, it seemed like it was all but over in Tamil Nadu, but that's clearly not been the case. There have been some sensational twists and turns. The question still remains on who will form the government. Let me just begin by showing you very quickly what's happening in Chennai. There are multiple meetings taking place. We're right outside Vijay's residence in Chennai, where meetings are taking place. The former AIADMK leader who switched over to the TVK, Sengotian, was inside having a meeting with Vijay. He's currently at his residence here. After this, of course, we don't know what is going to happen next. That question still remains, because as of now, there are speculations that even the AIADMK could move in to form the government. Is it a possibility that the DMK could provide outside support? Now, that would actually bring in a political earthquake in Tamil Nadu. Is that actually going to happen or not? It clearly looks like for Vijay, until yesterday it seemed like he was going to even take oath as the chief minister, but that clearly has not happened. What is going to happen next? As of now, there are multiple meetings that are slated for today, and it all boils down to what actually happens in these meetings. Will the three parties, the smaller parties who were constituents of the DMK, extend their support to the TVK? That could change the story entirely, ensuring that Vijay can take oath. But will that happen? Will they be demanding a share in the pie? What is their demand going to be, and is the TVK willing to give in to those demands? Those remain the biggest questions. Let's get you some more breaking updates now coming in. Hectic political developments taking place in Tamil Nadu. While on one hand, there are meetings that are taking place at the TVK headquarters, at Vijay's residence, there's also a lot of activity that we are picking up from the DMK camp. The DMK has also called for a meeting, and the DMK president, the former chief minister, Stalin, has also left for this meeting. What is the DMK going to decide? This is coming, remember, amid the speculations that there could be a possibility of the DMK providing outside support. In fact, one of the DMK leaders has also come on record speaking to Times Now, saying that Vijay does not have political experience, so it is better for the Dravidian parties to be in power. It is better even if it is the ADMK that stakes claim to form the government in Tamil Nadu, the DMK will be ready to give outside support. Is that actually going to happen? Because if we add up the numbers of the DMK and the ADMK, it doesn't add up to the 118 majority mark that is required. So what is going to happen? By evening, we will also know the decision taken by the CPI, CPIM, as well as the VCK. These were formerly the constituents of the DMK, but if they decide to extend their support to the TVK, then he will have the numbers needed for the majority mark. As of now, these parties have not really come on record to say they are going to support Vijay. Even until some time back, Tol Tirumavallavan also went on to say that we are going to hold a meeting, By tomorrow, the VCK will decide. The question is, will it actually happen or not? Let's take this across to my colleague Dharani as well, joining us on the broadcast. And Dharani, a lot of developments happening in Tamil Nadu, and the situation seems to be evolving by the hour. Until yesterday, it seemed almost sure that Vijay will be the Chief Minister. Now, there is more uncertainty to that. Will it actually happen or not? What's happening in the DMK camp? What is this meeting all about?
Well, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin held a crucial meeting with the senior leaders at the party headquarters, and during this meeting, many senior leaders like A. Raja, Shekhar Babu, E.V. Velu, etc., they participated, and we are given to understand that this meeting is to figure out the DMK's next course of action, because, as per sources, one section of DMK leaders within the party, they want to have a tie-up with the ADMK, and they want, their alliance partners to be together so that they can, stay claim and form the government. The DMK doesn't want, anything to do with the ministries, but the DMK, one section of DMK leaders, they want to provide outside support to ADMK to form the government is what sources tell us. But this is just one section of DMK. There is also another section of leaders in the DMK, especially among the top ones who don't want any kind of relationship with the ADMK, because for the past 6 decades, we've seen the DMK and the ADMK only as political rivals. They've been fighting it out against each other, but now there is actually a possibility of them coming together, because, the ADMK has also been sending feelers towards the DMK, and one section of the DMK leaders, they are in fact in alignment with the idea of a tie-up with the ADMK. So this is a possibility, and discussions are currently going on at the party headquarters. The former Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, he held a 2-hour-long meeting with the senior leaders, and we are given to understand that just now Stalin has left the party headquarters, and there is a hurdle that is currently going on in the DMK. And as far as the TVK is concerned, we all know for a fact that since today morning, TVK Chief Vijay has also been holding consecutive meetings with the second-line leaders of the party like Adu Arjuna, Arun Raj, Bushi Anand, etc. So in both the camps, both the DMK camp and the TVK camp, there are back-to-back meetings, and the party chiefs, that is Mr. Vijay and Mr. Stalin, they are consulting legal experts, and they're also continuously holding discussions with the senior leaders. So in the next 24 to 36 hours is when we expect a clarity, because right now the cards are in the hands of only 3 political parties, 3 smaller parties in Tamil Nadu, that is the VCK, CPI and CPIM. These 3 parties...
Vijay may be the single largest party, but he still does not have the numbers, and the governor has made it clear that he will need the numbers, isn't it? So that race against time continues. In fact, we have big breaking updates coming in from the AIADMK camp as well, and this is a big claim being made by the AIADMK. AIADMK MLA Anbalagan has now said that Vijay has 48 hours. If he fails, then the next biggest party will step up to form the government. Now, what does this indicate? The biggest party, second to TVK, is the DMK with 59 seats and the ADMK with 49 seats. What's going to happen? Listen in to this claim being made by the AIADMK.
விஜய்க்கு கவர்னர் ஒரு 48 மணி நேரம் டைம் கொடுத்துறாரு இல்லீங்களா? உங்களுக்கு 118 சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர்கள் ஆதரவு இருக்குன்னா என்கிட்ட ப்ரூவ் பண்ணுங்கன்னு கேட்குறாரு. ஒன்றும் ஆன்லைன் இட்டுன்னு வர வேணாம், ஆடு மாதிரி போய் காட்ட வேணாம், அவங்களுடைய ஒப்புதல் கடிதம் கூட கேட்டுக்கிறாரு. அந்த டைம் முடிஞ்ச உடனே நெக்ஸ்ட் யார் ஆட்சி அமைக்கணும்னு விருப்பப்படுறாங்களோ அவங்க கவர்னரை போய் சந்திப்பாங்க.
So that's a big claim that has been made by the AIADMK, that Vijay has 48 hours. This comes amid the attacks that are coming in from the Congress and other leaders as well, going on to say that the governor cannot be imposing such a deadline on Vijay, that as the single largest party, he should be invited to form the government in Tamil Nadu. Let's go across to Kritika joining us on the broadcast with the details. And Kritika is in Puducherry. Remember, the AIADMK leaders have, the MLAs, the newly elected MLAs, all been taken and packed to Puducherry, where they're currently at. Initially, they said that they have come here to just rest, take a break, and Kritika, that clearly does not seem to be the case. There's a lot brewing. Now the AIADMK MLA openly saying that within 48 hours, if Vijay won't, the second largest party will move in.
Well, absolutely, Pratibha, the wheels are churning as far as the AIADMK camp is concerned. And in fact, even at the resort, when we spoke to one of the MLA elects here, he stated very clearly that the governor is well within his right to give such a deadline to Vijay. He has 48 hours. And if in case Vijay fails to approve his majority, the next majority party will be stepping up. Of course, as you rightly mentioned, there is the DMK, then there is the AIADMK. Now, yesterday, when EPS visited the same resort, he met with all of the MLAs. The MLAs signed their letter of support, elected him as their leader in the assembly as well. What was also stated to them was to stay resilient and to wait for a good decision that will be taken for all the MLAs over here. Remember, initially there was in fact a lot of hesitation amongst the AIADMK camp, a faction of them who wanted to partner up with the TVK so that they could also be in government, be a part of power sharing at least for the next 5-10 years, as they have been away from the government for in fact 2 terms now. Despite this, what EPS and what the senior leadership has now convinced the entire camp is to stay put, to enjoy the facilities over here and wait for a good decision. What could that mean? Senior leadership also tell us that there is a high mandate for Dravidian parties. They've stated to us that while there is a 40% vote share with Vijay, what it also means is that 60% of the mandate rests with the Dravidian parties. And of course, there are talks, as we've been breaking on times now, that there are considerations of DMK in back channel talk with the AIADMK to lend outside support. So could AIADMK form a minority government in Tamil Nadu in the time to come? That is a sort of an inclination, that is the sort of a reassurance that is currently being given to all of these MLAs here. In fact, even as of now, you can see that, you know, the parking lot over here of this resort completely jam-packed with vehicles with the AIADMK flag. And of course, this is what we've been reporting on since yesterday, since the MLAs also moved in here. Over to you, Pratibha.
Okay. So the numbers won't really add up if the DMK and the ADMK come together. They will still need support of the smaller parties. So the role of the smaller parties becomes extremely crucial in the hung assembly. You spoke about the updates from the AIADMK camp. Let's also get our viewers what's brewing in the DMK camp. A meeting is currently underway. There are a lot of speculations on what this meeting could be about and what the outcome could be. But let's get you the details of what a DMK leader has said on record, going on to say that Vijay does not have the political experience and that very soon we could actually see the AIADMK forming government with the DMK willing to provide outside support. Listen in to this claim being made by a DMK leader.
In politics, anything can happen. If Vijay can be able to get 108 seats, why can't this happen? Anything may happen in politics. Politics is decided by the public, not by the politician. So in that case, this may happen, but as far as my concern and my views in politics, my experience in Tamil Nadu politics, DMK will not join with align with ADMK, but they will support ADMK from outside if they want to form the government. Probably lack of experience or lack of interest to get the proper people's advice.
So that's a claim that is made by the DMK. Dharani, is that an actual possibility? Because just a few hours ago, just a few days ago, if anybody had mentioned that there is a possibility that there is an understanding between the ADMK and the DMK, they would have laughed it off as impossible in Tamil Nadu. But as they say, anything is possible in politics. So is that an actual possibility that could happen in Tamil Nadu? And where will the rest of the numbers come from?
Well, if we speak about numbers, even if the ADMK and the DMK come together, along with all of their allies, minusing the BCK, CPI and CPIM, they will not be able to attain the majority mark. So the number games, doesn't really support the ADMK-DMK combination at the moment, minusing the left and the BCK. Only if the left and the BCK, stand with them, they might have some chance. But, right now the left and the BCK, they are contemplating their decisions and they're more likely, to support Vijay Thamizhaga Vetri Kalagam than maintaining status quo is what sources tell us. But as far as, the talks between the DMK and the ADMK are concerned, we are learning through, top sources that one section of the DMK leaders, especially the younger ones, they want to have, a tie-up with the ADMK. Not directly, but they want to provide outside support to ADMK to form the government is what we are learning from top sources. But there is also another section in the DMK, mostly containing of senior leaders, but they do not want to have any touch with the ADMK because for the past 6 decades now almost the DMK and the ADMK, they've been the polar opposites in Tamil Nadu politics. And as you rightly said, until 3 days back, nobody would have even imagined that ADMK and DMK can potentially come together to stake claim to form a government. One section of the DMK leaders, they want to tie up with the ADMK and they want to support ADMK from outside. On the other hand, there is also another section that wants to act only as an effective opposition party in the assembly, and they don't want to do anything with the ADMK. This is the situation in the ADMK camp at the moment. As far as, the DMK camp at the moment. As far as the ADMK is concerned, we know for a fact that majority of the ADMK MLAs, they are right now in 2 resorts in Puducherry, and they keep telling that Edappadi Palaniswamy will, be the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. He will become the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and he will be able to prove the numbers. But the bigger question here is, how will Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy be able to prove the numbers? That is the million-dollar question at the moment. And in the next 24 to 36 hours, we are expecting to have clarity on this matter. But when we, try getting in touch with the high commands of both the parties, be it the DMK or the ADMK, neither of them, they are ready to give any comment on record about this development. In fact, some of them are completely denying these as rumors.
Yeah. In fact, they will also have to look at what will be the long-term implications of it. Will it be a short-sighted decision to have AIADMK and DMK together? They've fought against each other for decades together. There are ideological differences. Is it actually possible or not? But as they say often, politics make for strange bedfellows. Is that actually going to happen or not? We will know in the coming hours, because we've also seen a change in stance from the DMK. Until just a few hours ago, the DMK leaders, the very same DMK leaders who were denying any such possibility, ruling it out completely, seem to have changed their stance and have now said that if TVK is not able to form the government in Tamil Nadu, then we will decide what to do. Listen in to what TK Elangovan has said. Interestingly, he himself had ruled it out just a few hours earlier, after which he said this.
We will have to wait until 10th. The governor has given time until 10th. There was no meeting. It was general routine meeting of leaders every day. If he fails, we will once again consider. We will talk with other allies and decide.
Okay, all right. So that is what DMK has said. And Kritika, interestingly, just a few hours earlier, even Elangovan had ruled out an alliance with the AIADMK, or an understanding with the AIADMK completely, because the DMK and the ADMK also has to look at the long-term repercussions of the same. Will it be seen as a betrayal to the people of Tamil Nadu? But what seems to have changed? Because within just a few hours, it looks like both the parties and their posturing has completely changed.
Well, of course, it's very interesting that you bring up the implications in the long term, because what we're learning from our ADMK sources is that in the long term, it is in the favor of the state of Tamil Nadu to only have Dravidian leaders and Dravidian politics and political parties representing them. And it is for this very reason why we are seeing back channel talks open up between the AIADMK and the DMK. Their entire, in fact, fulcrum and as well as their speech to the newly elected MLAs is on the lines of how there is a large mandate, a 60% vote share mandate that rests with the Dravidian parties as well as their alliance partners. So that needs to be reflected into the governance of Tamil Nadu. They've also publicly on multiple occasions, in fact, stated that Vijay is an inexperienced political leader and will not be able to take charge and hold the reins as far as the state of Tamil Nadu is concerned. So this is also what we are learning, that in the longer term, an alliance, a sort of a support between the DMK as well as the ADMK can help them keep the Vijay front, can help them keep the TVK front out of power. Now, of course, there is a serious, in fact, concern that if TVK does end up forming government, of course, as you were mentioning, there are key meetings that are taking place today. With Congress, the TVK stands at 113. 6 more MLAs from the CPIM, from the CPI, as well as from the VCK is what TVK is currently eyeing. But these are also traditional partners, long-term partners of the DMK, which currently can also be seen as the part of the 60% vote share that did not go to Vijay. So this is their long-term plan. Over to you, Pratibha.
Yes. Absolutely. And what's going to happen on the long run? That still remains a question. But as of now, it's a race towards the 118. Who will actually be able to reach the finish line? That question still remains. Amid that, we have more details coming in. And this is a big claim that has been made by the Congress party. In a conversation with Times Now's Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan, Girish Chodankar in fact went on to say that there have been poaching means that have been taken, some attempts that have been made to poach some of their MLAs. That's a big claim that has been made, because apart from getting in more allies, it's also important for the parties to ensure that their MLAs remain loyal to the party. Is there any truth to this poaching claim? Listen in to what he said.
Governor is completely giving free hands to other political parties to do the hostating. They have already started poaching some MLAs from other parties to break and join them. Governor is responsible for this. If Governor had invited even our MLAs were trying to poach this. They have approached our MLAs also. They are trying to poach our MLAs also. So they contacted two of our MLAs, but our MLAs said we are not for sale. We will respect the mandate, will not go against the mandate of people. For this, Governor is responsible.
So at a time like this, the role of the smaller parties becomes extremely significant, including the left parties, the VCK, the PMK. But a big claim being made by the VCK, an indication that VCK is quite upset with Vijay, because the VCK General Secretary has actually taken to social media to take a swipe at the TVK, questioning the handling of the situation after the election victory or the election results were announced, because the General Secretary has said that Vijay's approach has been quite arrogant, going on to say that a request was sent through WhatsApp instead of Vijay meeting the VCK leaders in person, saying that this shows the arrogance of Vijay. Let's take this across to Dharini. The handling of the post-poll or post-result situation by Vijay is being criticized by VCK. VCK's role becomes extremely significant. You have the General Secretary of the party now saying it on social media for all to see that the VCK was not very happy that Vijay actually asked support via WhatsApp and not in person from the VCK.
Well, VCK's General Secretary Sindhanai Selvan, who is also a former MLA between 2021 and 26, he has made this allegation. He says that Vijay sought support from Vidudhalai Srutigal Katchi through a letter in WhatsApp, through a letter over WhatsApp is what he is telling. And if Vijay, took the circumstances seriously, he should have visited the potential alliance partners in person. He should have met them in person, the leaders of potential alliance parties in person, and he should have explained to them the ground reality. He should have explained to them the need to stop communal forces from entering Tamil Nadu. And if he has done all this and if he has wanted support, then that can be considered. But now Vijay is sending letters over WhatsApp and is seeking support. This is not the right way to do things, is what Sindhanai Selvan is telling. And now remember, just a few hours back, VCK Chief Thirumavalavan held a press conference in which he told that this evening around 5 p.m. VCK is going to have a high-level meeting over Zoom, and during this high-level meeting, the VCK will decide whether to extend support to TVK or not, is what he told, and he'll be making a formal announcement about this tomorrow morning. But it looks like some in the VCK party they have a difference of opinion with another section. While some want to support TVK, there is also another section that feels like Vijay is not an experienced politician and he's not handling things in the right way.
Okay. Which is why perhaps the VCK has also said that a final decision will only be told tomorrow. They have a meeting that is scheduled for today because all are not on board. A final decision will be announced only tomorrow. Stay with us. We have some breaking updates now coming in of clashes that have broken out. Now, while these talks are going on, amid that, one thing is for certain, all is not well between the DMK and the Congress party after the Congress decided to extend support to the TVK. that DMK called them a party of backstabbers, and now you have clashes that are breaking out on the ground. We're getting visuals coming in of clashes that have broken out between the Congress and the DMK supporters. This is in Mayiladuthurai, where clashes have broken out. It is about 250 kilometers from Chennai. Clashes between the DMK as well as the Congress workers. A clear indication that what we are seeing, and this was something that was witnessed even before the elections, all was not well between the DMK and the Congress party, and it seemed like the differences had been ironed out. But after the election, all that has now broken down, and we are seeing the protests and also clashes on the ground. Kritika is joining us with the details. And Kritika, now, you know, one thing is certain, that for the DMK and the Congress party is going to be very difficult to come back together in the recent times. At least we've seen what happened before the elections, after the elections as well, and now from the leaders, it has also trickled down to the party workers. We're seeing clashes on the ground.
Well, absolutely right. From, as you rightly pointed out, right from the leadership till to the party workers, we're now seeing a very public fallout between the Congress party and the DMK. Pre-poll, there were, of course, concerns with Rahul Gandhi and Mr. Stalin not campaigning together in Tamil Nadu. This is despite them having an alliance in place for quite a while now. And even now, we're in fact seeing that with the backstabbing allegations coming in and the Congress also hitting out at DMK over claims of them giving support to the ADMK should it stake claim to power. Of course, there's a lot of back and forth that is happening, and currently we're seeing, in fact, a clash between the workers, the party workers of Congress party as well as that of DMK out in the public. In fact, where this clash, however, clearly speaks to how the strain and ties between the Congress and the DMK are at its breaking point. In fact, even remember Kani Mohin earlier had stated, had acknowledged Akhilesh Yadav's presence next to Mamata Banerjee as well, stating that she thanks him for the courtesy. So, of course, there is a lot of direct and indirect attacks, political verbal attacks as well, that we've been seeing as on part of the Congress senior leadership, on part of the DMK leadership as well, and now open physical brawls as well between the Congress workers as well as that of DMK. Over to you.
Okay, all right. So clear differences between the DMK and the Congress. Meanwhile, a lot of meetings taking place today, and it's all going to be decided today. What's going to happen in Tamil Nadu? Multiple meetings at Vijay's residence, at the TVK headquarters, ADMK camp and the DMK camp as well. We get you the inside details of what's happening in these meetings, because the outcome is going to be very crucial in deciding who is going to form the government in Tamil Nadu. Thanking Dharani and Kritika for joining us on the broadcast with all those inputs, and slipping into a very short break here. We'll be right back. Stay with us.